Vikram Vij! My pleasure.
Hi, my friend.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to the show.
How are you?
I'm great. Nice to see you. What a great honor for India and for Canada to have an Indian chef on the best CBC show ever.
You're very kind. Thank you so much. Well, we're honored to have you. Okay, there's lots to talk about with you, but walk me through the show. Just this idea of finding somebody and giving them an opportunity to build a business. Tell people what this is.
Well, you know, the show itself is like a classic example of what we Canadians are. You know, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Yeah. It's basically using your home recipes that you have, that you absolutely love. Yeah. So anybody who's out there who has this great recipe that the grandmom used to make, they can pitch and they can come and show it to us. And we have 3 judges, 2 really esteemed and 1 not so esteemed.
Successful restaurateur, my friend.
Well, thank you. You know, there's Arlene Dickerson, does a great job of showcasing the marketing aspect of it. There's Gail Simmons, who has a great palate. And I come from the entrepreneur side of it, where, you know, home-cooked recipes are now being brought to different places, and people are able to buy good quality Indian food in markets, and they can go out and buy the spices, and they're actually cooking Indian food at home.
What I like about this and the idea of home-cooked meals, not just the fact that you can connect to traditions and cultures, but we live in this era also of the fetishization of food, and every hipster chef is trying to make something so bizarre. And oh, we have this, not the heart of a pig, but the essence of a pig.
Exactly.
Right?
And Indian food, actually, if you look at it from a visual point of view, is like brown, browner, and brownish. It's like so simple to look at. It's like it doesn't. But my God, if you take that aroma and you put it in a camera and you could actually smell the Indian food, it would be the best cuisine out there. Because it's so beautiful.
So, like, philosophically, was it important for you to connect people to things that are a little bit more simple, a little bit more authentically down home, whatever that is?
What our goal at the restaurant was, and especially to the ladies that work in the kitchen, you know, we roast our own spices, we grind our own spices, and all those hardworking ladies, what they wanted to do was not to cook food just for the sake of cooking food, but they wanted to be proud of the country that they had left. And they wanted to showcase that this new homeland of ours called Canada gets to enjoy the best meal ever. And I'll tell you a little story about this. Pierre Trudeau came into Vij's one day. He walked into the restaurant with Justin, and the whole restaurant goes pin drop silence. My kitchen women had no idea who this man was. So he eats dinner, he's leaving at the end, and I go up to him and I touch his feet. And I said, Mr. Trudeau, I just want to say thank you on behalf of my kitchen staff that, you know, it is your policies in 1960s that allowed immigrants like all of us to come and be successful. And he was very nice. He picked me up and gave me a big hug and said, you know, I've had Indian food lots of times. I loved your food. And he actually went into the kitchen.
You let him in?
Yeah, into the outside from the window, and he looked and says, "Ladies, very good food." And he said it in such an almost like a little Indian accent, like, "Ladies, very good food." And they loved, and they loved it. They had no idea who this man was. And I was like, this is the reason why you are here in this country. So it was such a beautiful aspect of it.
How long did you make him wait to get a table?
He waited like everybody else did. He waited 20 minutes. He was totally fine.
The reason I ask about how long you wait, because I ate there once with you, and we waited hours and hours and hours. Then I heard that your father waited hours and hours and hours. You wouldn't even give your father a seat early.
No, but you know what? Gandhi said that we are all equal.
Right.
It is so important.
He's your father's!
But it is so important for us to understand that a nurse that goes to Rwanda and saves lives, or a teacher that teaches my kids to be a great human being, is as important as somebody like you who has your own show. If you and I went out for dinner, and you and I have nothing to talk to each other for an hour while we are waiting, you and I should not be having dinner together. We should just do takeout and stay at home.
When you got here, and you've been here for a long time now, what is the one Canadian dish that you just can't wrap your head around?
You know what? I was on far east coast, and I had seal flipper pie. Yeah. And I was a little bit like, okay, I love the seal flipper part, but to have it in a pie form, I mean, you need to be pretty inebriated to be able to enjoy it. Yeah. Like and if somebody said to me, can you give me a little taste profile of this dish? I would have probably said slimy brown stuff in my mouth, chased with another beer, because that's the only way you can enjoy it.
I believe that is the correct way to enjoy it as well.
Exactly. So it was delicious. But on the other hand, there are some things that we had from there. You know, the beautiful smoked fish was absolutely delicious. I mean, we in Canada are really lucky. We have the best of the best foods out there, though.
I mean, I know people talk so much about the multiculturalism, but that is the deal. My favorite part about it being a Canadian is that I rarely have to think about it, only when it's sports or a beer commercial, but it's the idea that everybody makes whatever they want.
Exactly.
Who cares what is our voice? Our voice is all of our voices.
Exactly. And the reason why this journey of bringing and remaining focused at bringing the awareness of the cuisine up is because I feel that we have still so much to do and learn. I want everybody, once in their week, to eat pasta, to eat meat, have Indian food, have Thai food, and have Mexican food.
Right.
Once in the lifetime, because then that way, I'm telling you this, when you eat food from other cultures, you break boundaries down. When you break boundaries down, you build tolerance to each other. Food and music will solve the problems of the world, not the guns and not the politics, for sure.
That's what's up. Pleasure. Thank you. Vikram Vij. So the show is called Recipe to Riches. It premieres tonight at 9 o'clock right here on CBC. We'll be right back.